this past week, a lot of heat came down on Justice Julia Sebutinde from Uganda, who was disowned by Uganda based on her ruling in the Israel genocide claim, the case that South Africa had against Israel at the International Court of Justice. And she was, one of only the only judge of 17 judges to vote against all six measures adopted by the court in a ruling ordering Israel to take action to prevent acts of genocide. This is a woman coming from a African nation. And as African people, whether we're on a continent or across the diaspora, if there's one thing that we know about more than any other group of people in the world, and that is genocide. More genocide has taken place against African people than any other group. So, in my opinion, she was paid off, or she accepted some type of bribe for her to complete this vote in favor of Israel. And I'm glad that Uganda disowned her, because this is what we need more of in the black community. We need more people to be disowned and banished, so to speak, from the tribe,
Hmm.
essentially as punishment or shamed. They should be shamed for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a world now where people, don't want to shame anybody. But no, when you go out and you embarrass your country by coming up with a ruling like this, you should be shamed and disowned. And wherever she travels in Uganda, people should not welcome her, and she should be treated as an outcast. Take whatever little $3 to $5 million payment that she probably got for doing this, and you take that and go live in Europe somewhere where we'll never let you come back to Uganda and show your face without being shamed amongst your own people.
Hmm. Well, clearly they made a mistake, because she had to be nominated to the International Court of Justice by an authority, a body in Uganda. That's how these judges get nominated. They're nominated by their home country, and then they serve a 9-year term, and they can only be removed by their 15 permanent judges on the court for this particular case that South Africa brought against the Zionist state. The two countries that were involved, South Africa and Israel, were able to add two judges. So that's why you have votes at 15-2, or in this one instance 17, 16-1. So she can't be removed by Uganda, but obviously they could apply some pressure to make things untenable for her. But obviously she probably now has the protection of the Zionist state and others. Not that we're saying that we're not talking about any kind of physical harm or anything. We really are talking about excommunication.
Yeah.
In terms of the position that she took, which she claimed that her position was that the issue never should have been before the court, because it was a political issue between Israel and South Africa. You on the court, and you don't even understand the law. You don't even understand the UN Convention on Genocide, which allows any country that's a signatory to the convention to bring such charges such as genocide against another country that's a signatory. You don't even understand the law. So somebody in Uganda made a huge mistake when they selected this person to be their representative on the court, and this is what happens now. I mean, But whether she was paid off or whatever the case is, uh, the fact that she could rule against the body of evidence that the not just the body of evidence that the South African lawyers presented, but that the other judges presented when they made the ruling. They relied primarily on information from other UN special rapporteurs, the UN Secretary General, UNRWA, the United Nations Workers Relief Agency in Gaza. That's who they relied on. So it's pathetic, man.